For updates on sports stories across the globe, Aaron Akirijola joins us. Good morning, Aaron. Bonjour.
Yes, good morning to you, Ayo, and I must say, if they can actually help us with our audio, thank you very much. Let's chime into the Africa Cup of Nations and the Africa Cup of Nations alone. I must tell you, the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, the 34th edition, is the gift that keeps giving. A massive context that has probably propped up some of the biggest surprises and shocks in the round letter game on the continent of Africa. I must say that my breath has been taken away. Yesterday, Ivory Coast, the host, went against the Teranga Lions of Senegal. No one would have ever seen the result and the final outcome come out the way it actually played out. As a matter of fact, maybe the only people to have actually called it were the Ivorians, who believed that some way, somehow, the god of soccer will come to the rescue when it mattered the most. And yesterday, the lotteries of penalties separated both teams. Senegal, very proficient in penalties. As a matter of fact, won the last AFCON in Cameroon in 2021 on penalties, beating the Pharaohs of Egypt. And they've won several other key penalties en route to major tournaments. And for Ivory Coast, who do not simply know how to play penalties, it was the god of soccer probably blessing them. And as it stands right now, Ivory Coast are true to the next round, talking about the quarterfinals, while Senegal, the Teranga Lions, do bite the dust. It was manic celebration on the streets, for the players after the full-time whistle was actually blown, as they could not comprehend what had actually happened, because the Teranga Lions, who were simply sublime coming into that particular fixture, had only conceded one goal, and they were looking like the very best team on paper. And in terms of form coming into that game, it was almost like a mismatch, a David versus Goliath situation. But one thing is certain, I must say that the Ivorians have kept the history alive and ensured that their 100% win record against the Teranga Lions of Senegal stood strong. And Sadio Mane, as the Senegalese players were overcome with grief because they knew this was an opportunity to banish a demon and, more importantly, stake a claim for themselves on the continent. And they had it slip through their fingers, had an early lead, and they threw it away, ultimately, and succumbed to penalties in the final embers of the game after 120 minutes were played. It was unfortunate for them, but they will be leaving this morning back to Senegal with their tails between their legs, and knowing that if you snooze, you literally lose. And that is the name of the game here at the 2023 AFCON. But we took to the streets yesterday. We were there as celebrations were rife in the air, as the Ivorians were literally celebrating like they had just gained independence. They were celebrating like life had literally blessed them with a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And that was the feeling on the streets of Abidjan yesterday, as the fans went gaga. They hoped, but wouldn't have believed that the outcome will come out like that. Holding the Teranga Lions, and not just holding them, and also defeating them ultimately on penalties. A lot of people say curses do not exist, but the big question is, are you sure? Now, I'll read you the stats, because there is something called the AFCON curse. Because when you look at it closely, in 2010, after the three-peat, as some will call it, especially in sport, talking about the Pharaohs of Egypt winning 3 consecutive titles, in 2012, the Pharaohs of Egypt did not even qualify for that particular tournament. As a matter of fact, it was a Chipolopolo of Zambia that went on to win it there with Christopher Katongo and the gang. And coming into the 2013 tournament in South Africa, the Chipolopolo were hoping to build on that, but no, they could not even get past the group stage in that particular competition. And it was the Super Eagles that lifted the gong and celebrated to the high heavens in South Africa and in the land of the sun. In 2015, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, having won the tournament in 2013, did not even qualify for the tournament. In 2017, Ivory Coast came into that particular tournament as defending champions, having waited decades to actually lift their particular trophy, and the golden generation with the likes of Yaya Toure and co, hoping that they were going to banish that particular demon. They did it in 2015, coming in strong in 2017, hoping to do that, but you look at it, they couldn't get past the group stage. Same happened in 2019. Cameroon coming in as winners in that particular one, thanks to Vincent Abubakar and his heroics, didn't get past the round of 16. In 2021, Algeria beating the Super Eagles en route to the particular finals in Egypt, did not even get past the group stage. And once again, the curse continues. No team since 2010 has actually progressed past the round of 16, having won the tournament in the previous edition. As the Teranga Lions once again proved that that curse is actually real, as they crashed out, no one would have seen that coming. But sometimes they say curses are real, and maybe the proof is in the pudding.
I mean, there's something called the God of football. We football fans like to believe. And if you also remember, there's something called the Daman miracle, that Nigeria enjoyed. Also, there's something called...
True.
there's something, after the Daman miracle, there's also something called the Atlanta Olympic miracle of 96. And what the celebration they were doing, there was replica of the Nigeria celebration all through the night, midnight, when that game, because that game ended around close to 12 and the celebration spanned into midnight. Pretty much reminds me of Atlanta, when Nigeria did win and the celebration was middle of the night because the games were played middle of the night and it was just massive. Nobody gave Ivory Coast a chance. In fact, it was Ghana's own self-destruct after losing a 2-0 lead at the 90th minute that gave Abidjan, Ivory Coast this opportunity. But they took it, but they changed something. Once their coach gave, the current coach Fahy did a lot of changes in the team. He was ready to take more risk. Sebastian Haller was in the team, Kumani was in the team, a couple of other people were in the team, and they were coming out smoking. And once the game started, I called a lot of my Ivorian friends, and Aaron, you should visit Bushman Cafe, one of the big restaurants out there in Abidjan. The owner is very dear for him. And I called him up yesterday and I said, you know what, I think this Ivorian team is ready. They are ready to push. They are ready to do a great deal. And I knew it. In fact, I was up and down protesting when that penalty happened and the referee first gave a yellow card to the Ivorian striker. I said, what is this? What is happening? No, VAR must take its course. And then Kessie slotted in that penalty and he gave a tribute to his father, by making a salute to his father that just passed. And he also went ahead to score the winning goal, also giving that same tribute to his father. I mean, this was just made in the stars. Vive le éléphant. This is just a great one for Ivory Coast. Let's see how this tournament goes. It keeps on giving, and it's just magnificent.
I'm a bit suspicious and concerned that you might support Ivory Coast over Nigeria at this rate. Please remember.
I wouldn't do that. I have a lot of Ivorian friends, but I won't do that. Great people, but Nigeria all the way. I'm tipping Nigeria to win this.
Excellent.
And like I said, I think this Osimhen will bring and carry for us.
You've always said that.
Yeah, because African Footballer of the Year.
You've always said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, brilliant outing there. I was saying to Rufai when we were talking about this just before you came on, Aaron, that this Ivory Coast win is now becoming a bit suspicious. I mean, in a good way, because first of all, it didn't seem like they were going to even get into the round of 16. And then here we are, they beat Senegal. When it was announced as to who they'd be facing, a lot of people just thought, oh, it's never going to happen. It's the end of the road for Ivory Coast. But look at them. It's such, like Rufai has mentioned, it's such a football miracle. However, they stopped short of Nigeria. That's all I'll say. But thank you so much. But a great win, and it's great to see the host still in the game. Makes it a bit more exciting, especially for those who were quite disappointed when they thought they were going to be out of the tournament. But great to see them rejoicing and celebrating.
All right, Ayo. Goodness me. A lot of surprises more.